The balance of global power is poised for a seismic shift with the United Arab Emirates, UAE, set to join BRICS. This announcement came during the 15th BRICS Summit, concluding on August 24, 2023. Initially dominated by the powerhouse economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the inclusion of the UAE could signal a new era of economic collaboration and influence. In this video, I explore the implications of the UAE's potential entry into BRICS and how it could reshape global dynamics, from economic cooperation to geopolitical alignments. In an historic moment, the United Arab Emirates has officially joined the BRICS group after a successful application ratified by the 5 founding nations: the Federative Republic of Brazil, the Russian Federation, the Republic of India, the People's Republic of China, and the Republic of South Africa. Before the start of its annual summit in South Africa last year, more than 40 countries had expressed interest in joining BRICS, and 23 formally applied to join. Besides the UAE, other countries invited are Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. These countries were expected to receive full membership beginning January 1, 2024. Argentina was also invited to join, but President Javier Milei pulled out in December 2023, shortly after taking office. The UAE is committed to multilateral action and constructive dialogue fostered through active platforms representing developing and emerging economies at an international level. The country's economic outlook for 2024 is positive, with growth expected to reach 4.2% in both oil and non-oil sectors, backed by strong performance in key sectors like tourism, real estate construction, transport, manufacturing, and a surge in capital expenditure. The second largest economy in the Arab world is actively pursuing trade agreements with other countries to expand its economic ties and create new opportunities for investment and growth. The UAE is currently pursuing 26 comprehensive economic partnership agreements, CEPAs, designed to eliminate trade barriers and encourage the flow of goods and services between countries. In these regards, what advantage does becoming a member of an extended BRICS grouping hold for the UAE? I'll look at that in a second, but before we do that, I'll briefly review what BRICS really means. BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The term was initially created as BRIC, without South Africa, by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill in 2001. He predicted that by 2050, the 4 BRIC economies would come to dominate the global economy. These nations began meeting informally in 2006 before organizing more formal annual summits starting in 2009. In December 2010, South Africa joined the group, thus changing the acronym to BRICS. The group was formed to bring together the largest emerging economies to challenge the political and economic power of wealthier Western nations. Every year, the BRICS group convenes for a summit to discuss priorities and make decisions. Each member country serves as the rotating president for the year. You might be wondering why BRICS is creating such a buzz in the economic and power landscapes. Well, here's why. The BRICS countries include some of the largest and most powerful nations in the world, such as China and Russia, as well as influential countries on their continents, such as Brazil and South Africa. The expanded group has a combined population of about 3.5 billion, or 45% of the world's inhabitants. Collectively, the BRICS nations' economies are worth more than $28.5 trillion, about 28% of the global economy. With Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE as members, BRICS countries account for about 44% of the world's crude oil. These 3 countries are among the world's largest oil exporters. In 2022, these 3 countries combined contributed 21% of the world's oil share, with Saudi Arabia alone contributing 13%, according to the Statistical Review of World Energy Data. Together with Russia, these 4 countries being included in BRICS is believed to give BRICS significant influence in OPEC. However, the group argues that Western nations dominate important global bodies, such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, which lend money to governments. They seek a greater voice and representation for emerging economies. In response, the BRICS nations created their own development bank, the New Development Bank, NDB, which focuses on lending money to boost infrastructure. By the end of 2022, it had provided nearly $32 billion to emerging nations for new roads, bridges, railways, and water supply projects. Despite being a cooperative alliance, some of these nations have differing objectives. China aims to expand its influence and power, particularly in Africa, while Russia sees BRICS as part of its fight against the West, helping it overcome sanctions imposed after the invasion of Ukraine. Iran's membership could further reinforce the anti-Western stance of BRICS, but they didn't let the differing objectives stand in the way of their collective goal, which is to overpower the Western power. But can they? I'll get back to that later in the video. Now, the BRICS leaders' support for the UAE's membership is a promising development that opens up new opportunities for the UAE and other member nations. It allows the UAE to tap into a broader spectrum of global markets, diversify its strategic options, alternatives, and partnerships, and broaden its investment and trade portfolios, providing it with a dynamic horizon. Moreover, it positions the UAE to dynamically engage with emerging economies, fostering mutual growth and cooperation. The UAE can play a vital role in South-South geoeconomics as part of the expanded bloc of BRICS countries, boosting trade and building bridges among nations. Positioned in the middle of the world, the UAE serves as a central hub of the South-South corridor, facilitating significant business and trade flows. So the UAE's membership in BRICS is a logical step in the country's ongoing journey towards economic diversification and global integration. The country has been building strong ties with BRICS countries for years, and this membership solidifies and formalizes that partnership. It joined the group's New Development Bank in October 2021, followed by active participation in the Friends of the BRICS Forum in Cape Town in 2023. Joining BRICS would offer the UAE a range of economic benefits, particularly in areas such as trade, investment, space, medicine, finance, energy, and technology, while also positively impacting various aspects of the local economy. Additionally, by aligning with the BRICS economies, the UAE believes it can further solidify its economic relationships with China and India, and gain access to other markets, such as Russia, Brazil, and Argentina. Bilateral trade between the UAE and China has grown significantly in recent years, with the value of trade increasing by 28% in 2022 alone to reach $64 billion. China has become the UAE's largest trading partner outside of the oil and gas sector, reflecting the growing economic ties between the two countries. Similarly, the UAE's trade with Brazil has increased significantly in recent years, driven by a combination of economic factors. These trends point to the potential benefits of the UAE's membership in BRICS, both in terms of access to new markets and knowledge exchange. Also, bilateral trade between the UAE and India has been on the rise, reaching $84.5 billion between April 2022 and March 2023. This is expected to increase to $100 billion by 2030. In July 2023, the UAE and India signed an agreement to establish a mechanism that would further develop bilateral trade in their respective currencies. Instead of the US dollar, 1 month later, the Indian Oil Corp paid for its first transaction with the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company in Indian rupees. This agreement to use their currency in trading between the UAE and India could set a precedent for other BRICS members to follow suit and conduct cross-border trade in local currencies. This trend gained momentum after Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the subsequent economic sanctions imposed by the West. As a result, Russia was removed from the SWIFT global banking system, making it difficult for the country to sell oil and leading to economic disruption. The UAE-India agreement could provide a potential workaround for countries like Russia and Iran, which have also faced U.S. sanctions that have hindered their ability to trade. Adopting local currencies or a new BRICS currency could help these countries, and this is one of the aims of the BRICS. Even Brazil's president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, has proposed the idea of developing a common BRICS currency to increase payment options and protect member states from vulnerabilities due to dollar exchange rate fluctuations. De-dollarization was discussed at the recent BRICS summit, but no agreement on a substitute currency was announced. The BRICS New Development Bank has also been facing challenges due to Western sanctions against Russia. As mentioned earlier, the purpose of the bank is to mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects within the BRICS nations, as well as other emerging and developing countries. However, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the NDB halted lending to Moscow. This past July, the bank's president, Dilma Rousseff, stated that the NDB is not considering new projects in Russia as it operates in line with restrictions imposed in financial and capital markets, highlighting the effectiveness and breadth of U.S. sanctions. Given the UAE's significant financial resources, including its sovereign wealth fund, the UAE could potentially play a major role in boosting liquidity for the new development bank. The UAE could make direct capital contributions and leverage its expertise in finance and infrastructure development to help the NDB structure and manage projects more efficiently. This could attract more funding from both within and outside of the BRICS alliance and further strengthen the NDB's role in promoting development and sustainable growth. The recent expansion of BRICS to include the UAE reflects the group's desire to challenge the current world order, which it views as being overly dominated by Western countries. Now let's discuss the question that has been circulating regarding the expansion of BRICS. Can it dethrone the G7? The fact is, while the addition of new members has strengthened BRICS economically and increased its influence globally, the group faces several internal and external challenges that could limit its ability to achieve deeper integration and shift the global balance of power in its favor. Firstly, while the BRICS economies are undeniably powerful collectively, their influence on the international stage is largely dependent on China's $17.9 trillion economy, which accounts for 62.9% of the group's economic output. This disproportionate reliance on China creates challenges for the BRICS, as it gives China an undue amount of power within the group, allowing it to exert greater influence over decisions and policies. Additionally, the significant disparity between China's economy and that of India, the second largest BRICS economy, presents a challenge. While the BRICS may espouse principles of sovereign equality and mutual respect, ultimately, economic prowess gives China greater leverage and scope to implement its worldview and interpretation of any recalibrated global governance system. Secondly, the uncertainty in the global economy and increased geopolitical tensions, particularly between China and the United States, have led to a reduction in foreign direct investment, FDI, in China. This dropped from $189 billion year on year to $15 billion in 2023, likely due to concerns about the stability of the Chinese economy and a shift away from globalization as companies seek to reduce risk exposure. Any military conflict involving Taiwan could exacerbate the situation, potentially leading to a further decline in investment and increased tensions in the region. Furthermore, Russia's invasion of Ukraine has exposed the negative consequences of major military conflict, highlighting the risks associated with geopolitical instability. In summary, while the expanded BRICS are economically stronger and may contribute to rebalancing the global order, any notion of replacing it seems to be misguided. All in all, the UAE's entry into BRICS signifies a significant development in global economic dynamics, with potential benefits for all member nations. However, the group still faces challenges that need to be addressed for it to realize its full potential in reshaping the global landscape. I'd love to know your opinions on this matter. Drop them in the comments section.